You used an amazing word, that, knowing you, you really live this word, and I have two questions got sparked in my mind when you mentioned this word. The word is empathy.
Hmm.
Um, in your position, in your job as a talent acquisition professional, you're kind of stuck between two worlds, the world of the hiring manager and the world of the prospective job candidate, right?
Right.
How do you balance both their needs, and how do you customize the empathy you give to the hiring manager in order so they could be successful? And how do you customize the empathy you give towards the job candidate so they could be successful and feel safe and feel good about the process?
I think the main thing is to really know first and foremost um, what whom you're representing, and that is the company,
Mm,
right? So at the end of the day, it is what is beneficial for my company, and that would be the hiring manager I see always as my client, so to say. So I'm providing a service for all my hiring managers. At the same time, not to lose touch with the applicants. It's sort of like being a surgeon and a doctor. You have to be able to see the patient as a human being, not just candidate X out of 200.
right,
To be able to update them regularly so that they know that they are being seen and heard, to always get back to them if they have a question within a working day, even if you don't know the answer, just to reassure them that you will try to find out for them. And also at the end of the day, making sure that they feel comfortable, that you are really just an email away, and that you will try to reach out to them as soon as possible. I think there goes that balance. Also knowing that at the end of the day, you are representing the company that you have been employed to work for, that you have a responsibility to your hiring manager because he or she has a responsibility to their team. But at the same time, to make sure that you actually realize that you are between helping them have a good experience about the company and perhaps later on reapply for a different position, or you can really leave them with a sour taste in their mouth because you haven't seen them or given them due diligence as well. I think that's very important for a recruiter.
so I love how you really emphasized how due diligence is important when it comes to showing empathy for the candidate. Let us know, like, why do you feel that it's so important and how it really helps translate into empathy when it comes to candidates?
You're talking about somebody's rice bowl, and you're basically
Hmm.
talking about somebody's dream of getting into the next chapter of their career. And a
Hmm.
lot of times when it comes to bulk rejections, we do send bulk rejections because we cannot physically call everyone. But at the same time, we always make sure that in our bulk rejections, we do say, please check out other positions. There have been times when I've had to say no to candidates for that particular position, but because I also know that they performed really well, to also tell them if you are applying the next time, please write in your application that you've had an interview with me so that I can hook up with my fellow recruiter colleague and let them know the reason why we didn't go forward with you this time was because of. So, in that sense, due diligence is about making sure that the candidate leaves with with the feeling as much as possible that their application has been handled in in a way that is sensitive, that you acknowledge that they've taken their time, and that you see them as an individual rather than just an application number.
Oh, wow. I I love I love the warmth and the empathy you bring to the role. I hope that every recruiter and every talent acquisition professional is really bringing that level of warmth and empathy to the role. And the reason I love it is because that word, that term that you used, somebody's rice bowl is
Yeah.
hanging in the balance,
And
and
we've all been there. We've all been there at one point or another. The candidate sending 300 applications, always getting a no. We've had that feeling of the wind being kicked out of our system, and there's so much more I can do that I want to do. So I'm not even there yet, but that is sort of like my compass as to always treat people with respect because I've
mm,
been there and I might be there again sometime in my life. So everybody deserves just to be given that due respect.